Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jameis Winston's win over Ravens may change Browns' course at QB. The Cleveland Browns bested arguably the AFC's top team when Jameis Winston took down the Baltimore Ravens in Week 8, which is a fact that could alter the Browns' plans at quarterback moving forward. There's no getting around the fact that the QB position remains something of a muddled mess in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson is recovering from Achilles surgery that will keep him out until at least the start of training camp in late July, if not longer. Winston, meanwhile, is on a one-year deal and will become an unrestricted free agent in March 2025 if the Browns don't extend him before then. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the second-year signal caller who Cleveland selected in the 5th round of the 2023 NFL Draft, also remains on the team and happened to be Watson's replacement against the Cincinnati Bengals last week before an injury sidelined him. So what are the Browns going to do, both for the remainder of this season and heading into the next? Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com offered a comprehensive, if not absolute, summary of the situation in an article published on Sunday, October 27. With the Browns at 2-6, there's still an enormous long shot to make the playoffs, and they'll still likely need to draft a quarterback high in April or acquire another starting caliber veteran with Watson out at least 9 months after his Achilles surgery, Cabot wrote. But maybe Winston will make a strong case for himself to compete for the QB1 job along the way, or re-sign as a backup and mentor to a young QB. For now, at least, they have a quarterback who can lift this team out of the doldrums and keep things fun and interesting the rest of the season. Cleveland's immediate directive is likely going to be to try to win. Winston conjured images of Joe Flacco's surprise charge at the head of the Browns' offense last season that led the team to 4 consecutive victories down the stretch and a berth in the playoffs. Cleveland's chances are far slimmer of pulling that off this season, but the team did just upset the AFC North Division co-leader. Running back Nick Chubb, a 4-time Pro Bowler, is also 2 games into his return from injury, and the optimistic Browns fan might project him to potentially regain his previous form in the coming weeks. The offensive line is slowly getting healthier and the defense still has talent across every level, though defensive end Ogbo Okoronkwo, linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and cornerback Denzel Ward all suffered injuries Sunday. The upcoming schedule isn't easy, though it isn't necessarily a murderer's row either, with the Los Angeles Chargers, New Orleans Saints, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Denver Broncos on the slate over the next month. Starting Winston and playing well could knock the Browns out of the top 10 of next year's draft and make it more difficult to land an elite rookie quarterback. However, with the money the team has spent to win now, anything close to a winning streak that creates even a sliver of hope for the playoffs is probably the primary objective heading into Week 9. Cabot noted that if Winston plays well, the Browns may not be as quick to part ways with him this offseason as they were with Flacco after his run of success in Cleveland. Winston has a unique mentality, which is evident in his discussions with the media. He can often raise eyebrows in good or bad ways. For instance, the QB quoted Detroit-based rapper Eminem's popular song "Lose Yourself" following the win against Baltimore on Sunday. However, there is little debate that Winston is a dynamic personality who cares deeply about his teammates and the game, and that can go a long way in a locker room looking for a reason to believe. A win like this is required to change the season around, Winston said, per Cabot. We have to continue to come to work and apply ourselves every single day and keep scratching and clawing. We've got a long way to go. Cleveland's best chance to negate the $73 million salary cap hits Watson represents in 2025 and 2026 is to draft a QB on a rookie contract who can start from day one. But whether the Browns are in position to do that or not come next April, there is a reasonable chance Winston could be in the mix heading into next season depending on how the next month plays out. In any case, professional football in Cleveland is probably going to be interesting in November. And that, at the very least, is something Browns fans can hang on to. For New York Giants who need to thrive in Week 8 against Pittsburgh, After a frustrating loss to Saquon Barkley and the NFC East rival Philadelphia Eagles last week at home, the New York Giants look ahead to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. Big Blue is 2-5 through the first 7 weeks of their centennial season, and now they are looking to get back in the win column after back-to-back losses to the Cincinnati Bengals and Philadelphia Eagles. The Steelers have been playing very well this year as they sit tied for first place in the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens at 5-2 this season. Pittsburgh most recently dominated the Jets 37-15 on Sunday Night Football at home and will look to continue their success against the Giants. The Giants will need certain players who need to perform better to step up against the Steelers to get the win on the road in primetime. Here are 4 Giants who need to thrive in Week 8. 4. RB Tyrone Tracy Jr. Tyrone Tracy Jr. has been one of the most impressive rookies for the Giants this season as he performed well in Weeks 5 and 6 while Devin Singletary was sidelined with a groin injury. The fifth-rounder rushed for 129 yards on 18 carries in the Giants' win over the Seahawks and had 50 yards and a touchdown on 17 attempts against the Bengals, but could not follow up that performance last week against the Eagles, rushing for 23 yards on 6 carries. Tracy Jr. will be challenged this week against the Steelers, who rank 3rd in rush defense ahead of Week 8. Pittsburgh allows 81.1 rushing yards on average and has only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns this season. The Steelers' rush defense consists of T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, Alex Highsmith, and Patrick Queen, who have been a problem for opposing running backs all season. If the Giants want to win, they'll have to find a way to generate offense and move the chains, and it will start in the backfield with Tracy Jr. 3. WR Malik Nabers. One player who needs to get back on track and has an opportunity to thrive in Week 8 is Malik Nabers. The first-rounder had been playing well before suffering a concussion in the Giants' Week 4 loss to the Dallas Cowboys, where the rookie would miss the next 2 games and return this past week against the Eagles. Nabers had 8 catches on 12 targets for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Browns, and 12 receptions on 15 for 115 yards against Dallas. In Week 7, Nabers was limited to 4 receptions on 8 targets for 41 yards. Nabers could face backlash for his comments about how he was open and telling the media to watch the target tape. Pittsburgh's pass defense ranks 22nd this season, allowing 217.3 passing yards on average, and has given up 8 passing touchdowns this year. This could be the perfect opportunity for Nabers to get back on track and give the Giants a much-needed spark on offense. 2. CB Deontay Banks. One player who faced some backlash from last week's loss to the Eagles was Deontay Banks, who showed a lack of effort and hustle on a Jalen Hurts third-down 16-yard scramble. The second-year defensive back ran right by the veteran quarterback and could have easily made the tackle to bring him down and potentially force a 3-and-out on the first play of the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh Steelers QB Justin Fields goes down with unexpected injury. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Justin Fields suffered a hamstring injury late during practice and is now questionable to play against the New York Giants. Fields is questionable for the team's game, but he will need an MRI on his hamstring. According to Fox Sports insider Jay Glazer, a friend of Tomlin's, Fields is unlikely to play against the Giants. Pittsburgh was reportedly hoping to use their 2-quarterback plan this week, which would include a Fields package, but it seems likely that Fields will miss the game. Russell Wilson made his first start of the season with the Steelers against the New York Jets and is primed to do that once again. Kyle Allen would be the backup quarterback in case anything happened to Wilson. It is unknown if Fields will be able to be the Steelers' emergency third quarterback or completely inactive. However, with the Steelers bye week, it seems likely they will play this with caution, and Fields will likely sit out while his hamstring recovers over the next 2 weeks before their game against the Washington Commanders. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Justin Fields? Leave your opinion in the comments.